Be careful, because you can meet the most progressive dude, and yet his mommy still loves patriarchy and is going to try to make you center him and basically center her because, she wants to be the queen bee. She don't like these little gender norms not happening the way anymore. Even if she actually suffered herself under that system, she's going to be pissed that you're not suffering too. So today we're going to do a am I the D-bag, and this is about when you think that you have grandma, you're gonna have a great hands-on grandma. What you really end up having is a toxic boy mom witch. This is a French puppet. Look, they actually put it. I got this in the mail. They put a noose. It really do happy endings here. I love it. Anyway, am I the D-bag? Let's see. We're gonna get into it, because this dude is in a predicament. Before I continue, make sure you follow my Patreon if you want to actually see my stuff, in case the algorithm doesn't send it to you. You'll get notified over there every time I post, then you can see it. And I do friends content, I do lives. I got a live coming up in a week and a half, and it's going to be good. More info on that soon. Friends content, Mo's content, dating, creativity, all that stuff over on my Patreon. Please join. I even have a free tier if you just want to keep up with what I'm doing. You're going to learn a lot of lessons here, lots of things to cover. And I don't remember the details of this. I read it, skimmed it through a while back, and so a lot of this I'm just going to discover with y'all. Am I the D-bag for inviting my mom to stay at our house when my wife hates her? Okay. At first I was like, I hate you, right? But just bear with me. I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't suck as much as I assumed he did with this headline. My wife, 43, because I say right now, yes, you are, for inviting your mom. Why does your wife hate her? Maybe your wife sucks, but usually when a woman hates her mother-in-law, a lot of time it's because that mother-in-law is pissed that she's not centering her king baby. A good wife should. My wife, 43, hates my mom, 67. Mainly because my mom criticized her for being a bad wife and mother in the past. That'll do it. No mystery here. I'd hate her too. My wife is an OBGYN. Great. Wow. That's so impressive. And so I do most of the housework. Good for you. You probably should, unless you work as much as her. I'm a senior data analyst for work and work from home 3 days a week, so I get the kids ready for school while my wife heads to the gym. Look at that. Look at that. A man not afraid of a woman making more money than him, but also taking on what seems to be, now this is his account, maybe it's not true. I always seem to think they do more work than they really do. But anyway, he's doing all this and she's going to the gym. Very stressful job. Delivering babies, looking at like someone possibly almost dying every day, dealing with all those emotions, dump on the table, all the things that I keep hearing about that like makes me so glad I never chose childbirth. How do y'all do it? Bless those of you who bring life into this world. I couldn't do it. And this woman not only did it by having kids, but she sees this trauma, which is what childbirth is, all day, every day. That's a lot. Probably needs to get rid of all that stress at the gym. Good for you for watching the kids. As soon as we had kids, my mom began criticizing my wife's laziness. Imagine criticizing an OBGYN for being lazy. Someone who is like on call, like what, all the time? Do they ever get to really go on vacation? I mean, I'm pretty sure they do, but imagine just like having to go, like get out of bed and go to work at 2 a.m. because some baby decided to be like, push, right? I don't know. Clearly, I don't know how all this works. Whatever. My wife working 60 to 70 hours a week, and I work 40 hours, and we can't have the lifestyle we do without her income. I'm glad you appreciate that, which I have explained repeatedly to my mom. Good for you. I'm glad you are doing that. I hope she's not having to do that. So far I'm seeing lots of green flags on his behalf. Sounds like a man who isn't threatened by a woman who is very smart, clearly, if she's an OBGYN, can handle a lot of stress, a lot of trauma. Like it takes a certain kind of person to do that job. And this dude works less, takes on more work at home, and stood up to his mom, which, it's not like he gets a prize for that. But as somebody who I never thought I'd get married. So I never even thought I'd be in this situation. But I've actually learned that I have to grow a pair of ovaries in order to advocate for my husband and I when we go home, because I can't just be, the happy, people-pleasing little girl when I go there. I have to be an adult who advocates for what's best for us, and that is not familiar or comfortable, because it's easier for me to just self-abandon and do whatever you think I should do and just until it's time to go. So I know that it is not always easy to stand up to your own parents when needing your needs, when advocating for your needs to get met, especially because a lot of boomers, not all, people got mad at me when I talk about it, not all boomers, okay? But a lot of boomers just like have a hard time seeing eyeball to eyeball, adult to adult, because of the way they were raised and their parents were raised about like, always respect your elders, even if they're being ridiculous. So learning how to be an adult and owning that I deserve as much respect as elders deserve in terms of just being a human. I respect the wisdom of people older than me, but I don't defer to them as being right just because they're older. Because a lot of younger people than me are way, way, way more right than I am, and I learned so much from them. So, so good for you, because I am learning how to do this, and it is not easy, but it's actually a really good challenge. I will abandon myself if it's just me, but if I got someone linked to me that I love, I'm gonna think twice and put on my big girl pants. But my mom is pretty old-fashioned and conservative on these things, and thinks my wife is being a bad wife because I spend more time with the kids and do more of the housework. Foot soldiers of patriarchy. Instead of being proud of her son for helping out his wife to have an easier life instead of a harder one, I guess is that she's like, by conservative, I'm going to interpret that as his mother was treated like crap, or, just played by these old rules and just pretended like she loved it. A lot of women, like, misery loves company, man. That's what I'm telling you. That's why a lot of people like are so a lot of parents can't stand child-free people, because we're like, that looks really hard. I don't want to do that. And they're like, you're selfish for not doing this thing that I hate. Lots of parents say it's hard, but still actually love it. It's just hard. But some of the parents out there, you will never convince me that you don't hate your life because of the presence of someone who chose not to do that, making you so angry. She's very critical, and I understand why my wife had enough. I repeatedly told my mom to keep her opinions to herself. As you should. My wife blew up at her after she stayed over during the holidays, and I was doing all the cooking and cleaning as I had time off and my wife still needed to work. My mom criticized her for being a bad mom. Oh, God. For not being there during Christmas, and my wife blew up at her and refused to let her stay over. It's been 5 or 6 years, and she is still banned from the house. There you have it, folks. That is how you set a boundary with your parent. You warn them, and you warn them, and you tell them to stop, and you tell them to stop, and they finally just take it too far, and then you get banned. See, that is called the consequences of your actions. You come into my home, and you tell me I am a bad mom, a bad wife, a bad blah, 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 whatever. You don't get to come into my home anymore. Those are the rules. And let me tell you something else. even though I'm child-free, a large percentage of the people in my life have children. And if there's one thing every single mom I have ever met has in common, is that there's this thing called bad mom syndrome or whatever. It literally is the bane of their existence, no matter how much they sacrifice, no matter how hard they're working, no matter how many times they haven't taken a shower because they don't want to leave the bed. Bad mom, bad mom. And I don't know if this comes from if this is like an evolutionary thing, because it seems to pop up no matter what. And maybe it's a good thing that you're constantly like, am I a bad mom? So you don't fall apart on the crushing weight of this responsibility. And I don't know, maybe it's better, that you do too much than not enough. But I think most of it, or a lot of it, is society and patriarchy. And a lot of times it's other mothers telling you this and that, and you're not enough. Are you doing this? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? I do this, like competing. There are so many moms out there who are they're just working so hard, and it's never enough. It's never enough. So anyway, the long reason going on this whole rant is that the last thing most mothers need is a reminder that they're not good enough. Have you ever heard the term dad guilt? I haven't, but mom guilt and bad mom syndrome, holy crap. Women will do all kinds of things just out of the fear of being a bad mom. So the last thing on earth most moms, and definitely this mom, needs is some judgmental lady in her house telling her that working and doing a job that literally delivers babies and deals with other mothers all day, that the last thing she needs in the house is a woman like this who's like, you're bad, and putting a microphone to her biggest fears or any of that mom guilt. So you deserve to be banned, Granny, indefinitely. She has tried to apologize to my wife, but my wife ignores any attempts at communication. I am pretty sure that, my guess is that the wife has read an apology maybe once or twice and realized that it's empty. And this woman probably apologized before and then came over and criticized again. Like this ban didn't come out of nowhere, okay? Especially given how much, most people, especially in the U.S., do not, no, I don't want to say most. Most of the parents that I knew in the places that I lived, especially New York and LA, they were nowhere near grandparents, right? Because they moved to New York or LA to pursue comedy or writing or acting. They never go on dates because a grandparent doesn't live. And then some of my friends, and here in France, my nephew, my niece, the grandparents, my husband's parents, they are with them all the time. And that's very normal here. Grandparents are taking these kids out all the time, right? Unless the grandma sucks, most people actually would love some help without paying $100 to go out for a date. Childcare in the U.S. is so ridiculously expensive. Most people, again, unless grandma's got to be real bad to be banned. You know what I'm saying? Tell me, if you're in the U.S., chime in, okay? Because in a country with no maternity leave, more or less, or paternity leave, here they get, all this maternity leave and some paternity leave, plus they subsidize babysitters. They get so much help, and still grandma and grandpa taking care of the kids all the time. In the U.S., the childcare, a parent usually quits their job in order to pay for, to avoid paying daycare. Because daycare is more than a whole person's salary for a year. And who's the person who usually has to stay home? Mom! But sometimes that's who wants to stay home. Anyway, This lady is the breadwinner, making the money. She probably would appreciate a free childcare, a grandparent, a hands-on, more of a village thing. The nuclear family is really not great for raising kids, right? We know that it's more like grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, la 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 la. So for Granny to be banned, this is bad. Very bad. I've given up on them getting along. If my mom wants to see our children, I drive them over there. Good for you. See, now that's how you do it. Your wife is like, no. But you still want your kids to see grandma. She's just not welcome in your house anymore because she's such a bitch to their mother. This has caused a lot of issues in our marriage. I'm sure it does. But the fact that he still goes out of his way to enforce this ban, you know, I get it. It's hard to stand up to your parents. I'm curious where the dad is. Where's Grandpa? Is he dead? What's going on with that? I understand a lot of people go no contact. And I also understand why some people don't go no contact. I went no contact for a while and then I went back to contact. And I'm very happy with my decision, but I don't expect anyone else to do the same. It's very personal. She recently had a heart attack, which required a stent put in. She's being released from the hospital and asked me to stay at our house for a week. No. See, Granny's like, I know. I've got the perfect excuse. She lives alone. Okay. I would love to know the backstory here. You can learn so much by understanding the parents, you know, the original, like the family system of origin. She lives alone. I wanted to be there to watch her. See, I mean, that's a good instinct. And agreed without thinking. See, now you are the D a bag for that. I asked my wife, who refused to let my mom stay, saying she is going to drive her back to her home the instant I bring her over. Okay, now, as depressing as Granny is being right now, and very frustrating, I love this story. I just want us to frame this as hope. This right here, this woman right here, thank you for being a great example. Thank you, husband, who, even though you, you messed up here, it sounds like you are still siding with the mother of your children and your wife and taking care of her over your petty, internalized misogynist mama. I love his wife. I love his wife. We can learn, y'all, we're going to be seeing more of this. I'm not sure we would have seen this like not too long ago. This gives me hope. She had a heart attack, and I wish my wife would show some sympathy, but my mom also caused the problems between her and my wife. Consequences. Am I the a-hum for wanting my mom to stay at our house after surgery to recover? Here is a few more follow-up things. You're an asshole. Sorry, but your mother insulted your wife, and you are married to her and owe her your allegiance. Your mother should have minded her business. 100%, but I needed her to make this compromise for my mom's health. It takes 1.5 hours each way to my mom's house. Okay, so that's a 3-hour drive. I can't do that multiple times a day and get the kids up and pick them up and drop them off. And it's only for a week. Okay, I understand that you're thinking logistically this is like impossible, but open your mind, bro. Have you heard of a word called hotel? Because they have those. And I'd be willing to bet there's a hotel not an hour and a half away. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know where you live. I've told my mom the second she says something to my wife, she is out. And she agreed. Of course she did. But I am sure she's agreed to not be a big old brush before, and that didn't work. My mom already wrote an apology letter a year ago, which I gave my wife. And she ripped up because she refuses to accept my... Wow, y'all. This is a woman... Now, it may sound like she's being really harsh, but I'm giving her all the benefits of the doubt here. Because a woman, like a grandma who's calling her a bad wife at Christmas, shaming her for not getting time off As if she can really control all that. Like, this woman sounds like she's been a menace, a nightmare, despite the husband, like, no, stop, no. And she's done. She is D-O-N-E, done. And your silly little letter, stop. Apologies don't mean anything if the behavior doesn't change. So my guess is this lady apologized a lot, and it was even, rung up. Hello, hey, I'm so sorry. And then comes over and it's like, raw. There were a few other comments. Compromise, what exactly is the compromise here? Letting her stay a week in our guest room. That's you getting what you want. That's not a compromise. So, I'm starting to question the dad here. I feel like you are not painting your mother in as terrible of a light as she needs to be painted, because you're kind of downplaying things a little bit. This reaction of your wife seems very extreme, but you will never convince me it's because she's crazy, especially given that your mom is criticizing her. Compromise, hire a home care nurse to stay with his mom at her own house, and he can go visit her daily if he wants. Yeah, but you see, that still means he's got to drive 3 hours a day, and you don't want to do that. But I get it. At least she won't be alone. But now it's making me wonder, where are her friends? Because I don't know about you, but most of the old ladies I know have a lot of friends, because they've nurtured those friendships. So now, I'm not saying always. I know that there's all kinds of reasons, especially in the United States, and their lack of third places, housing crisis, no social security or safety net or anything. I know that the loneliness crisis, I believe, is way worse in the U.S. because it's socioeconomically not set up for anything but that, and it's just getting worse since the billionaires are getting taxed less and less and less, and all the other stuff, and the individualist mindset. And still, most women I know in the U.S. have some friends, especially like boomers and stuff. So I'm not saying that it's her fault that she is alone, but given what she is to her own daughter-in-law, maybe she's alone and doesn't have any friends because no one wants to be around her. Can you blame them? I love this. I guess his mom is grateful for doctors now that she's still alive. Just think, they could have stayed home taking care of their families instead of saving lives, right? This woman just almost, had a heart attack or whatever. I think that's what it was. Has a stent. And I'm guessing that some of the people who worked on her were women. So, the solution is he puts his mom in a hotel nearby and makes her comfortable there. Or better yet, gets his wife a week-long vacay and a spa package. I'm very transparent with friends, family, and my children that my husband is who I have to live with forever. That right there. Dude, you do not screw over your wife to please mommy. Look at all these other alternatives that would be just as good. My guess is a grandma really wants this to be the access point to get back into that house and to be able to come over. And the wife is standing her ground, and good for her. Seriously, I know this sounds like God, but there's always some sort of hope in all the stories not all, but most of the stories I try to share, because either it teaches us something to not do, or it shows us an example of a woman who's like, no, nope. And I love that. He is absolutely downplaying how his mother acted to his wife. He's trying to make it seem that she's held a grudge for 6 years, ripped up the letter, but there's no chance at all he's correctly representing what was said or done to get to that point. I agree with that. So, it sounds like he's doing his best. No, look at me making excuses. It sounds like he needs to grow a pair. and stand up to mom and see that despite her like pulling on his little heartstrings, but I'm your mother, I'm alone. A mother who will treat the mother of your children so terribly, you do not center her. Do not. Because you are married to your wife, not her. And she's not going to be around that much longer. You really want to jeopardize your entire family so that your mean mom can come over and insult your wife? No. Anyway, I would love to hear what y'all have to say. I hit the jackpot. I love my mother-in-law. She loves me. I don't have kids, so that's not even in it. But one of my mutuals, Nicole, talks I hope to remember to tag. Talks all the time about decentering your in-laws, and so many women are just expected to center their in-laws, especially the mom. Oh, Queen Bee. And the mom's like, I worked for this. I sacrificed so much. Now it's my time. And if the daughter-in-law is like, no, I don't think I should kiss your butt and let you do whatever you want to me just because you're his mom. And Grandma Queen Bee don't like that. Do not let men hide behind you. Make them stand up to their own damn mom. Make them problem solve it. Make them have to face mommy and, get in trouble or whatever. This is where, and I love that wife is just like, you know what? It's causing some problems in her marriage, but she will not abandon herself. She will not abandon herself so that he can get what he wants, because he doesn't want to have that uncomfortable conversation. He wants it just to be easier. The way this stuff plays out is like, again, it's like patriarchy, whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole. There it is, 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 right? Do not let those in-laws force you to center their son and his big feelings and his fear, or center the mommy that he won't stand up to. No! Thank you for listening. Join my Patreon. Make sure the notifications are set up. You're following me if you like my stuff and all that stuff. But Patreon will notify you when I upload, because the notifications don't work a lot of times. Anyway, I do lives over there. I got a live coming up in a week and a half. I'm going to tell you who soon. And France content, Mo's content, personal stories, creativity, writing, all kinds of stuff over there. And now you are going to get your little comment song. Write your comments. Et voila. Comment. Now it's time for the comment. I know you got a comment. Sure you do. Comment. Tell me something interesting. I'm making the song up as I go. Maybe I should get my xylophone. Hey! Dang it, I ran out of time. Hey! Thanks. Let me know if you made it this far. Hey! Next time. See you next time.